This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Long Run. Live. We are live on YouTube and Facebook, and tonight I am joined by Chris Ford, founder of FORDY Runs, the running community, Hayden, who's freshly back from Chicago, and a lovely Marilise, who is personal trainer and London Marathon finisher. So hello.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. So just let's get all the housekeeping stuff out of the way. So thank you to our sponsors at Skechers, as always, who are great, and to Start Fitness, who we've got 10% off. So with the code 40 runs. So please do use that on the website. Go and have a look, and that works on everything, I think. And we don't get anything for that. That's just a free code so that you can get some discount on all your stuff. So tonight, we're going to be talking to Marilise about running London Marathon, how she got into running, her journey, and all of that kind of stuff. But obviously, it is a busy weekend this weekend. There are loads of races out there. So I'm going to do a few shout-outs first. Firstly, going out to Amsterdam. So everyone that's out there already, there's more people flying out tomorrow morning doing the half. I think there's an 8K and obviously the full marathon on Sunday morning. So huge shout out and good luck to everyone out there doing that. There is the Great South Run. Hayden, are you heading down there?
I'm heading down there Sunday morning, for the Great South. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. How far is that? 10 miles?
It's a 10-miler. You actually don't get many 10-milers, so it's a bit of a different one. So really looking forward to it.
Oh, cool. So Great South Run. Where is it? Portsmouth?
Portsmouth, yeah.
And you've got a meet-up down there as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we're all arranging to meet up, actually. That's a good shout. By the just left of the bag drop, about 9:45 in the morning. It's actually a later start for a race, which is a bit unusual. So yeah, we're going to have a bit of a meet up there. If anyone listening today or watching wants to come down, by all means, come down, give us a shout. About 9:45, we have a bit of a meet up. So bit of a fun day all round, I think.
Yeah. And then there's also Yorkshire Marathon this weekend. And I think there's a 10K and all sorts going up there. But so good luck to everyone out there. And Marilise, is one of your friends running that?
Yes, one of my good friends called Nicola. She's doing the York Marathon on Sunday. So massive, good luck to go there to support her as well. So really looking forward to it. It's now her time. So now it's her time. So.
Oh, brilliant. And Chris, you had a couple, didn't you? Before.
Well, firstly, let's start as we mean to go on. Did everybody miss me last week? You sure you want me to say yeah? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, the chat thing, if you missed me last week, please say you did. Secondly, you may notice that Wilco's not here. Mr. 60% is not driving the bus tonight. He's handed over the keys to admin, who does a sterling job on our women's podcast. And so she's driving the bus tonight. He's at home. He's doing getting his tips together for the race because Wilco works for the Racing Post. But what he doesn't do, he doesn't give any of his mates any tips, right? So all he does, he sits at home, does all the tips that he gets from the office, and then all the 50s come in and he puts them in shoe boxes behind him. So that's he's not, yeah. So, but funny enough, talking about York, he did that last year, and we call him Mr. 60%. And you'll love this as a PT. I think this is a great ethos for any client of yours. He only likes to do running because he feels like he only has to run at 60% effort. If he does any more than that, there's just no point, he said, because it's that sort of methodology that if I overdo it, then I'm going to break myself. But if I underdo it, then I won't achieve it. So he cruises along at 60%.
60%? Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll introduce it to you because he's got this ethos. I'm not sure if it works, to be perfectly honest with you. But anyway, he keeps banging on about it now. So, comments, chat thing, whatever it is, stick it in there. Does anybody know the email address? Because Wilco's not here.
Yeah, longrunshow@gmail.com.
Thank you. So email in your questions. Ask about Hayden and why he's sitting in somebody's bedroom. If you send the questions in, We will answer it on email. Well, Wilco will, because I'm too busy. But Hayden is in somebody else's house doing the podcast, which is good news. And finally, I've got 3 shout-outs. I wrote them down. Look, this is how organised I am, because I've had to pack. So I've actually got organised this week. The first shout-out is to Skechers, big friends of the channel. But got to give a shout-out to Skechers because they gave us a kit drop this week. Or was it last week? I don't know where I am. But anyway, they sent us loads of gear. Thanks very much, Skechers. Kitted us out. We love you. So big shout out to them. Always supported FORDY runs. Next shout out, we will get on to like talking about running stuff in a minute. Is Believe in the Run. The guys that Believe in the Run. If you've not followed them, subscribe to them. Please check them out. They've been showing me a lot of love this week, which I really appreciate. So check out Believe in the Run. And the last one, before we get actually into the show, is we've put up a thing. I don't know what it's called. On about the Red 1000 on December the 3rd at Clapham Common. Marilis, you're invited to this. I expect to see you and all your crew there. It's in Clapham Common Park Run, free, so you don't have to pay for it. But we want everybody in the world. Now, you've got to remember, we are global, right? So everybody who listens to this podcast in Peru and Malta and Singapore, and we're 4th biggest podcast in China, by the way. So everybody come over to Heathrow. Get along to Clapham Common on the 3rd of December. We want to literally, the race director turn up and go, where all these people come from, right? We're going to take it over. Because, Hayden, why are we going there?
We are going there for a few reasons. One, for the fact that it's nearly Christmas.
Sure. 2,
for the fact we are going to celebrate the FORDY Runs running community, get as many of us together to show how awesome we are. But one of the most important things, we have 2 runners in our community who have run every single day. So far, right now, if I'm going to get this right, it's about 950 days. So come December the 3rd, they're both going to hit their 1,000. They've run every single day for 1,000 days, and they're going to celebrate that with all of us, and we're going to run with them at this park run, and it is going to be epic.
Epic. So there's a thing up on Strava. I was playing with Strava on the train, right? And I may have mucked up some of the settings. I've got no idea what I was doing. But what I did manage to do was set up an event, which I was really proud of myself today, because obviously not being a fan of Strava, listened to the podcast a few weeks ago, but I managed to set up an event, which I've shared. So everybody jump on that and just come along. It's free. No one's charging you anything. We'll all be there. We'll all muck about. But most importantly, can you imagine the race director? Oh, what's that when they do that first briefing? If you've never been there or whatever it is,
first time,
and there's like 2,000 of us. It's going to be epic. Have you ever done, Marilis? Have you ever done park run?
Do you know what? There's one like literally 2 miles away from my house, and I've never done it. Or, like loads of my clients do it, but I'm just like, if I want to do a 5K, like I do on the treadmill or something. I'm a bit lazy. I can't get up at that time on a Saturday if I've got no clients.
Right. So this is it in the diary. 3rd of December.
Okay.
We no excuses. It's free.
Okay.
So there
I'll
we go.
be there.
That's all my admin done. I think I didn't take long, did it? Only 8 minutes.
No.
Sorry about that. I haven't been here. I wasn't here last week. It's not my fault. And for those who are wondering where Speedgoat is, who got absolutely hammered before we started, it's awesome. Give you a shout out. Oh, it doesn't say. It just says XX. But basically, Speedgoat is here. He's just in the background packing for Amsterdam. If anybody wants to know where he is here. So if you want to take the mickey out of him, please do. Now, I don't think it's very... What?
He's eating pizza.
It's not very good. Hayden, right? I've got a serious question for you. Actually, Marilis, this is good for you as a PT. Toby, or Speedgoat, has done... He doesn't do marathon training anymore. What he does, he runs a bit every so often and then goes and do a marathon, right? He really has not done anything. His new tactic, which I don't advise, is turn up to the osteo 2 days before his marathon. Now, he's done this in Edinburgh. He did, right? He didn't do any training marathons for Edinburgh at all. None, 0, right? I think he still pushed out 3:53. It nearly killed him. But he did that.
That's amazing.
But his secret recipe, he reckons, is going to the osteo 2 days before. And now I'm not sure why you would go to the osteo, what help that's actually going to do.
Instead of training.
Yeah, to doing any training. I don't know whether she's giving him some like unauthorized help, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know. I just don't, or she tapes him up with KT tape all over his face. I don't know what. It's madness. But anyway, that's what he's been doing. And we shall see on Sunday.
Can I just say, I went to see her this morning and she did look pretty concerned when I said, she said, oh, Toby's coming in later. And I went, is he? He's running Amsterdam on Sunday. And she went, oh. So
She was surprised. Was she surprised that he's running, or was she surprised that he was running Amsterdam?
well, I think both. I think she was surprised that he was running, that he was going to see her and that he was still alive, because we haven't seen Toby in a while.
No. Anyway, right, come on, let's give these people what they tune in for.
Yeah. So
running and stuff.
yeah, let's talk about running. So Marilise, let's start. Can you, obviously you've just done London Marathon. So firstly, congratulations on entering the 1% club, because that is
thank you. My first, pretty impressed with myself for doing it.
Yeah, I mean, and my favourite stat is that only 1% of the population have run a marathon.
Really? That's mad. Someone said that to me the other day. They said you could walk in a room with like maybe only one person's ever done it. So like, yeah, I am really chuffed that I'm actually going to pull out a couple of months beforehand, because I thought, I don't think I'm ready for this. But then I can't let myself down or anybody else.
So how did that come about? Like, what made you decide to do London?
So I've always wanted to do my bucket list for like years and years, and I have actually entered the London Marathon, I'd say, and not got a place. And then after in November last year, and obviously the operation went well and I've recovered, and I just thought to myself afterwards, actually take part in the London Marathon, raise some money for Kidney Research UK, and for a start, like have it as a challenge for myself and see if it's something that I can actually complete like less than a year after donating a kidney. So it was a kind of challenge for me at raise, and obviously prove to myself and other people that you can do something like this. So it was mainly that, really.
Yeah. And so did you say you had your surgery in November last year?
So it was like nearly, it's like, what date is it today? It's like 11 months ago.
Right. And how did you find, obviously, recovering from surgery and then starting to train for a marathon? Because it's pretty big.
It is actually. Do you know what? It's weird when I think about it, because it feels, like, so I'm running outside, because I'm not really an outside runner. I like to just run on my treadmill. I used to be years ago, so different to running on a treadmill. Running on a treadmill to me is easy. So I started going outside, probably started improving here. So if you think about it, November was when I donated the kidney, I started training for the marathon. So it wasn't really a long time, 4 weeks later. So yeah, at first it was quite hard, I'm not gonna lie, going outside, and then obviously post operation as well. So and I had to build it up over time, but it was a challenge for me, because like I said, I was thinking, I can't do this, it's too much too soon. But then I just thought, I'm not going to put myself under any. I have done something massive, and it hasn't been long since. So I just saw pressure, and I'm just going to try and enjoy it and try and complete it.
Yeah, which you did.
Good for you. Well done, mate.
Yeah.
Well done. And what was your time in the end?
4 hours and 26.
I tell you what, that's good going.
Yeah, that
is good going. I tell you, that is very, very good. Very good. I just realised Hayden's got a Chicago top on.
Yeah.
Have I? Where'd I get that from?
Oh, so that's not, you didn't nick that from the geezer's house that you've just. Actually, do you know the bloke's house that you're in, Hayden? I'm not just saying this. Have you been to the pub and thought, Christ, I've got to get on the podcast and tried a few doors and then just come in? Or do you actually know the person?
I was sitting at a bar, and this bloke I was sitting next to, he bought me a drink, and afterwards I said to him, have you got a good internet connection to your house? And he said, yeah. So I said, you're right, if I pop back, I've got a show to do. And he was all right about it. So why not?
Yeah, I'll make you right. I do. I'll make you. Wait, hang on, let's get rid of that. Yeah, no, it's someone's bedroom. My friend. If you're listening to this on the podcast, right? Let's just set it up. We've got to remember this is mainly an audio-based format, right, people? Hayden is sitting in somebody's bedroom. Usually, Hayden's got like this moody, like background thing going on.
Moody.
But he's actually sitting in somebody's bedroom that we don't know whose it is. I kid you not. Anyway, it's a good effort, bruv, because You could be out on the sauce, or he's got like. Are you on someone's
Perfume.
dressing table?
Hey, I'm at the dressing table now, so and there is some questionable things. This, I think, I don't know.
Lumen face spa.
That's a
Isn't that a thermometer?
I don't know.
Someone in the house has got
You
coat.
put-
Anyway, guys, can I just?
Forehead.
Hayden, this is audio based. No one's going to see what
I'm
you just
sorry.
held up.
I'm
Right?
sorry.
So,
I apologise.
I'll tell you what. We'll start a quiz. Email. What's the email, admin?
LongrunShow@gmail.com.
Would you like Hayden to come to your house and do the show? Just send it in. Subject: Hayden, please come to my house. He'll come with no shirt on. Just give him a t-shirt. Put his sketches out on him, and we'll send him on live on the chat. Be all right.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why
Well,
not?
talking of which, how was Chicago?
Oh, I've said it many times. I feel like I keep repeating myself, but honestly, that place, what a place. I've heard of Chicago. I've never really thought about going there. It's not something you think about going for a long weekend. Wow, what a place. It was incredible. It's like a clean New York. That's a bit disrespectful to New York. I love New York, but this is like it's like a clean version of it with the skyscrapers. Everything about it was incredible. And obviously the marathon just topped off the whole weekend. It honestly, still trying to go over it now. I'm absolutely buzzing about it. And I said next year, got no interest in running it again. Marathons are getting a bit too much for me as I get older. But I'd go out there just to support others, just to go out there and have a long weekend out there. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Mary, did you get out to the States much?
Been a few times, to be honest. I've not been to Chicago, but I'd love to go. I've been to like New York, San Diego. Yeah, so, but I love America, so I'd love to go. Can I come?
I think we should sign you up for next year's Chicago Marathon and Hayden come out and support you.
Oh my god, I would love that. Can you? I would actually do it again after doing that marathon.
But you do get a buzz. You do get addicted to it. You get hooked on it because and there's that thrill that you get. And even though the 16, 17 week slog is brutal, and you go through all that ups and downs, and like as you say, I was almost pulling out, I was this, I was that. But when you cross that line, you go, you know what? It's like admin, right? She keeps telling us, we call Sabrina admin, by the way, because she does all the admin. But admin, she swear to God, she said Manchester next year is going to be her last marathon. But I tell you now, I guarantee if you come back on this show, she would have signed up for something in the autumn. I guarantee it.
Well,
right?
no.
Really? How many marathons?
So I've done 2. So I did London and then Edinburgh. And I always said London, I'm doing London. It's a bucket list thing. A bit like you said, like it's a bucket list thing.
Yeah.
Did London and it didn't quite go to plan. So I felt like I had something to prove. So then
why didn't it go to plan?
It just, you know, when it's just not your day and you didn't run the time you want and you feel like you had more to give and that you could have run a better race.
Yeah.
And so I did Edinburgh, which was brilliant. And then went, oh, do you know what? Could I go a bit faster? Yeah, probably. Have I got one more? Yeah. And I've said I'm doing one more. And then the only reason I'd ever do anything after that is if I got another place at London, because there's nothing like one in London.
I totally agree. I think it is going to be addictive because before and I was doing all the training, I was like, I'm not going to put myself under any pressure. I'm going to be kind to myself because at the end of the day, but then about I'd say maybe a month before, I was like, oh my God, actually, in this time. And I started putting pressure on myself, like in the build up to it. And then on the day 50-50, I was like, you can do it, keep going. And then in my head, I was saying, yeah, but just be kind to yourself. Upset about my timing. But now I've done it. Afterwards, I was like, I'm never doing anything like that. And like, obviously recovered. I'm like, I want to do another one now, so I totally get it.
We'll get you on the plane. Chicago, here we come. We've got some friends out there. We'll send you over to Mike. We'll send Mike and Mr. Kafuzi. Check his YouTube channel out. We'll send you over to Mike. He'll look after you.
What a legend. What a legend. And you know what? Didn't really touch on that. Everything about Chicago was great, but one of the top things, we had him on the podcast, didn't we? What was that, a couple of months ago in the summer? Yeah. I actually got to meet Kafuzi, who is an absolute legend.
He's a legend. Honestly, Marilyn, he's like the coolest guy you've ever met. He's just so chilled out, so laid back, and he busts out. It's not about the times for us, but he's just the way he goes about himself. He's just super cool, right? He's just one of those people who's like effortless. He could wear, to be honest with you, a black bag and he'd look sweet in it. Do you know what I mean? He's one of those really annoying people. But I had major FOMO because Hayden got to meet him. Well, he got to Hayden. You're going to tell him what I sent you to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I had a
Don't listen to this.
If he's watching, that's it. He's going to defriend me
He's
on
going to kill you
and everything.
and me.
So Chris sent me a mission when he knew I was going out to Chicago. He said, "You know, Kafuji's out there." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Are you going to meet up for his shakeout run?" So I promise you, I'm going to go meet him. He said, "Please, you've got to do me one favor." I was thinking maybe he wants an autograph, maybe he wants to have a chat with him. He said to me, "Sniff him." He said to me, "I bet he smells awesome." I was like, "Okay, right." I don't know what he's expecting. So anyway, so I get out there and we go to this shakeout run, and I met Kafuji, had a chat with him, and he knew as soon as he saw the 40 top, he said to me, "Oh, 40 told me he sent someone out to see me and everything." I was like, "Okay," I felt like I was a messenger. And anyway, so I had the photo, I sent it to Chris, and then Chris FaceTimed me, and we were talking on the thing, and he said to me, "What does he smell like?" I said, "I can't smell him." I said, there's about 300 people around him. I can't sniff him. He said, "Please, go on and do it." So I did. I went up quite close. I did. I had a little sniff.
Was this before or after the shakeout run that you sniffed him?
This was before. I wouldn't have been that silly. I wouldn't have
Right, so if you haven't seen Kafuzi's Chicago video, right, there's the one where he ran it, but there's the one where he didn't run it. It's like the weekend. There's a bit in there where I'm on the phone. Hayden's in it, but Hayden's got the phone, and I'm talking to Kafuzi on FaceTime. It's really cool. But at that moment, right, what Kafuzi didn't realise is why that was on. Hayden was smelling him. Well, my theory is, right, he's such a cool guy. I guess he smells real good. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, he looks so fresh. Like, I think he went sub 3 hour marathon in whatever it was, and he still looked box fresh after it. Like, it was just, and I just imagine him smelling of like.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, he stopped following me on Instagram. Cheers, mate.
Blocked. He's blocked you. He blocked Wilco. Blocked Wilco straight after the show. Him and Wilco were like, they're like best friends, chatting and all this sort of stuff. As soon as the show finished, blocked Wilco. Bit of a stalker. I'm surprised he hasn't blocked me, to be honest, because I am proper stalker.
You're next now. Yeah.
Once it gets out.
Him.
What?
I said after he knows that you sent people to sniff him.
Yeah, but he must smell amazing.
What did you smell like, Hayden? No one knows.
I was just caught up in the moment. I can't even remember. It was a waste of time. The whole operation was a waste of time because I can't even remember. I was just caught up in the moment.
But we proper got in that video as well. Hayden made some like proper cameos in that video on Kafuzi's channel. Totally branded up. We're having some of this.
You've now done Chicago. So how many majors have you now done?
That's now 3 down, so 3 to go. And luckily enough, I have got all 3 all booked up. So we got Tokyo's booked up for March now. That's all settled and done. Boston's all settled for April. I actually booked my hotel tonight. Don't even ask about how much that costs because that is outrageous.
Does the boss know? Is she coming?
No, she's going with the boss is coming to Tokyo with me. Going to run Tokyo. Boston, not quite yet. She's got another year or so of training to try and hit that qualifying time. So I'm out to Boston on my own. But honestly, the price of the hotel today wow, that just finished off the week for me. But then we've got New York in November, and that's hopefully when I pick up the final 6 stars. So
right, so let's just clear this up, right? So Mary-Lise, I don't know if you know this or not, right? So there's the Abbott's majors, the marathons. There's 6 of them, and mad people like Hayden try and complete the 6. So you've done one, so now you're on your journey, and I expect to see you complete all 6 as well.
She will.
So you've got to go, and you've got to get in.
Do that.
Yeah, it's mental hard though, because like Hayden had to run 3:20. What was it?
I had to go under 3:20 to qualify for Boston.
For Boston, right?
So,
but
on what time scale do you have to do all this in your?
Well, it does. Whenever you get a set, they give you.
Oh, he's gone. His mate's cut the internet connection.
And whatever time you run within 12 months, you can.
We lost you, Hayden. We thought your mate at the pub had pulled he said he's been using my Wi-Fi for too long here. He said it'll only be a 5-minute call. Bosh pulled the cable out, and he's back in. Look. No, sorry, Hayden. What was you saying?
No, I was just saying. So with a lot of these marathons now, Boston in particular, you have a qualifying time to run, and you basically submit your time. And depending on when you submit it, depends on what application you're getting in for. So I had to submit a time before September the 1st to apply to get into Boston next April. So now they've opened up. Anytime you run now your marathon from now till next September, if you run a qualifying time, you can apply for April 2024.
And how long do you have those to complete with 6 majors? Is it just in your lifetime, or have you got to do
It is in a lifetime, but as FORDY pointed out to me a while ago, the problem with it is at the moment it's been 6 majors for years, but now they're talking about adding maybe Australia, South Africa, or China. So I want to get them done before that kicks in. Otherwise, that is just going to be.
But the good news is, Hayden, the good news is this podcast is massive in all of those continents and countries. So I'm sure Skechers, someone like that, will send you out there. We can talk to the people. So, Maris, the question is now: have we tempted you into going for these 6 majors?
Yeah, 100%. If it's in your
But
lifetime,
you know what you could do? I've had a brilliant idea. I've had a brilliant idea. For Maris. Right.
Far away.
We're going to bring it down a notch and make it so this is your first task. I did tell you we're going to talk you into stuff tonight, right? So,
no, that's fun for it as well.
Okay, so you've now done London. So over here in the UK, we have this thing called the classics. Have you heard of that?
No, not
Right. So your next job, right? Because I've been signed up for this, and I refuse to do biking. Okay, I hate going on a bike more than I hate spending time with Toby is going on a bike with Toby. Right. It's the most awful experience I've ever had in my life is going on a bike. But he signed me up for Ride 100. So you have to ride 100 miles.
Essex to London or something. No, Essex to somewhere.
Yeah.
No,
That's it. You're in.
Yeah.
Right. After that, once you've done that, we'll all do it. The good thing is about the biking thing, you can stop for a good old sausage sandwich every mile, apparently. No, it's true, admin. It's in the terms and conditions.
No, not every mile.
No, I'm doing it every mile. I'm doing it in my Spurs shirt, in my cowboy boots, and I'm stopping for a sausage sandwich every mile. They can kick me off the course. I don't care. Right, so we're doing that. Once you've done that, you've then got to swim for 2 miles in the Serpentine.
Oh, I don't like swimming. That's the thing.
No, you've got to get out of your comfort zone. Because then you get this really awesome medal.
Okay. I don't think I can do that, I'm being honest.
Well, we could cheat.
No, it's all right because Toby's going to have swimming lessons. Yeah, Toby's going to have swimming lessons because he can't swim, so he needs to have some lessons. So you can just join Toby in his swimming lessons, and you can swim the surf.
I do need swimming lessons. I'm up for that. Let's do it.
Yeah, a good story about Toby, right? And I'm going to get shot for this. I shouldn't probably. My missus is going to kill me, right? But Toby can't swim. So, well, he can-ish. He can get in the water. He's not like he's got a fear of water, but he's not very good. So he was on holiday, and he's just wrote in the private box, by the way, they can cut me off. But we was on holiday at the Haven top thing, and we was with all the kids, like my girls and that lot, and Simon. Simon and I said, "Oh, let's take the bigger ones up on the tubes." And so we said, "Toby, look after the kids." So what then happened is my girls looked after Toby in the pool. So we left the 7-year-old and the 10-year-old looking after Toby, which is probably the worst parenting thing that I've ever done. But to be fair, he didn't drown.
Well, I'd probably need a really bad swimmer as well. Like I can probably swim like one length, and that's about it. By kids as well who are better swimmers. In fact, my kids are better swimmers than me. So I don't.
I think you're in. I think you do the whatever it is biking thing, the sausage sandwich bike run, and then after that next year we go. And then what you could then do, Mary, this is brilliant. What you could then do after that, you could then do a triathlon or an Ironman with us, because that's next on our list.
Yeah. Well, but if I can get over the swimming fear, then I'll 100% do it.
Yeah, so legend. See, I did say you get talking and stuff.
I've got a question, Chris. Are those sausage sandwiches vegan?
I have them on my 10% day. So I'm 90% vegan, right, Maryliz? I'm 90%. I am. Why are you shaking your head? I have 10% days where I'm sort of a little bit non-vegan, but I try and be as vegan as possible. So if it's got like green on the package, counts as vegan, right? That's the way I roll. So
when you're non-vegan, do you eat meat or do you just eat vegetables?
I try and ask. So like when I went in the sandwich shop today, because I was carb loading, I said to the geezer, I said, I'll have a toasted tomato ketchup sandwich. If there's a little bit of bacon that goes in there, do it, but don't put too much in there. So it was mainly a tomato ketchup sandwich but there was a slice-ish of
10%.
bacon in there. But I didn't
10%
ask
bacon.
for it, and the bag was green. So technically, that's kind of vegan.
I'm vegetarian, so I can kind of relate to eat any meat. Like,
Yeah.
not even like that.
Chris, we might need a poll up as well. I've got Mark on the questions asking, sniffing Kafuzi is nowhere near as weird as podcasting from a stranger's bedroom. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I would make you right on that. The more I think about it, the more I'm alarmed by the fact that you're in a stranger's bedroom and broadcasting from somebody's house. That is quite alarming, Hayden. But anyway, we'll just roll with it. But yeah, I tend to agree. I don't know. Sniffing Kafuzi is quite weird. I think we should start a hashtag sniff Kafuzi.
Yeah, I love that.
And see if that gets. Chris, can you eat 100 sausage sandwiches? Yes, I probably could. But they've got to be obviously vegan, Cumberland sausages, with brown sauce on toasted bread, lovely jubbly, nice bit of butter. There's got to be vegan butter, by the way. Have we had? Have we got? Oh, Mary-Elise, question for you.
Mm?
Did you set up your own? Yeah, who did your training plan
For the
for London?
And I just did my own thing.
You
I
winged
kind of wish.
it.
Yeah, I did. I kind of ran, but I didn't realize that was what you were meant to do. So I just kind of took myself out for a run. I don't know, 5 miles and 7 miles and 10 miles. I probably went out once as often as I should have done. And then I got a foot injury, so I couldn't do anything for about a month. I didn't follow any training plan. But next time, if I ever do a marathon or when I do one, I will definitely plan and do it properly and try and like improve time and things.
I guarantee it, right? You might not realise this, right? Because we do muck about, but admin's a coach, qualified England athletics coach. I'm the same. I'm an athletics coach and a running coach. Hayden's a leader as well. So we might muck about, but we a little bit of what we're talking about. But I guarantee, right, if we put you into a plan that suited you, sub 4, easy.
100%.
Right? Easy. We could easily take you to where you wanted to go by just giving you the structure of a plan and giving you the sort of focus within that plan on certain elements, because you've obviously got the right mindset to do it because you went out and busted it out. I think you would really, and obviously with
I'd like that. I'd like that. Any kind of help I'd love to take. So definitely will do another one. I'd like to do one next year. I just don't think I could do one in the next few months. Just because into
Manchester. I think Manchester could be on the cards for you. Manchester, April.
But then isn't the London one in April? And
she's got her eyes on London. Look at this. She's revenge.
I've actually entered that one already, to be honest.
Yeah.
Based in London, in Manchester with us. We'll get you a plan.
Okay.
We'll get you through.
Yeah.
What was the longest run you did actually in your training plan then? Because if you weren't following a structure.
So I ran like 22 miles is my longest run. So I basically trying to get another 2 miles in each time. I had no idea what else I was meant to do. So miles, and then I was like, oh my god, I can do it. And that was
amazing. It's amazing. I tell you, that just shows you.
Yeah.
If you've got marathon training, marathon running, right, or a long distance or endurance based, it's, I would say, a good 70-80% mental, right? It really is. Physically, you get that aerobic base, you build on it, and you go through the motions. But if you're able, without a plan, to bust out 22 miles, I tell you what, you could really do some damage on some of those times. I tell you that now.
I'd love to, and it was like, I know I'm a like running every day or anything like that, and certainly not outdoor running. So it was a challenge getting myself. It was, to be fair, when I took on the marathon, my recovery from the kidney operation, as well as challenge myself to do myself and obviously raise money for kidney research. So it was a lot of reasons why, and and it was a mental thing, like you say. It's a lot more mental, and it was because there was times where I was like, I can't do this. I'm gonna have to ring up kidney. I can't take part. I'm not ready for it. I'll do next year instead. But I just thought, no, it doesn't matter. As long as you finish it, that's all I was bothered about.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, fair play to you. And that, I always say it to my runners or whoever comes to me and says, I've got a place in London, I've got a place in Leeds, I've got a place, whatever it is, right? The first thing you've got to think to yourself is finish. Don't think about anything else. Just finish the damn thing, right? And then, like you know, you then look to go and do something else. Now, whether that's beat the time or enjoy the experience more. Sometimes you do your first marathon and it is really painful because maybe you underestimated it or whatever. Or you get yourself in such a mess that you don't enjoy it. But then to go out and enjoy your second one is an important thing. Or, as you say, run a time. But
in a second one would be more enjoyable because I'd know what to expect.
Exactly.
Like doing the first one, I had no idea where I needed to go on the day. I was on my own. Nobody was with me. I did it all. I think now I know what to expect. Second time round, I'd be so much more confident.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And as I said, I think a lot of it is anxiety and all based around that big race day experience. Mary, that's why I started all this madness that's now FORDY runs, is because I went to London on my own and I looked around and went, why is no one talking to each other? It was just I couldn't get my head around it. So that's why I thought to myself, let's try and bring people together, like as I said to you before, everyday runners.
Yeah.
And making those connections, because then it can make race day a little bit more easy. If you're out training and you're solo, there's a community that can support you and bring that. Or now, like we've seen up and down the country, you know, if there's runners of the same mindset coming together on a weekly basis and spreading that community out on a local level, like Hayden does and admin do on a local level. So it's trying to bring those people, because that whole, doesn't matter if you're doing couch to 5K, that can be really, really tough. And when you turn up to park run or whatever you're doing to do that last 5K, it can be really intimidating. It can scare the life out of you.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the reasons why I haven't done park run, because I'm like, God, you have to just turn up on your own marathon instead.
Well, this is the good thing about 3rd of December, that you're coming along with us. You're going to be amongst friends, and we're going to own Clapham. I don't know, Clapham. I mean, how big's Clapham? Are they going to need to shut? Are we need to speak to the mayor and shut Clapham down? Some road closures because we're all coming in en masse. This is like pink brigade of people.
It's actually quite a big park run. When I've looked at it recently, they get between about 700-800 people, which in park run terms it's a fair sized park run.
Well, let's double that.
If we're going to take 800 down there, then yeah.
Yeah, don't forget, as I said, you've got all the people who are going to fly from Mongolia. They're going to have their goats as well. Then you've got all the people from Singapore who are going to come. I'm massive in Singapore. It's all going to converge. It's going to be. I think honestly, you're looking at 60,000 runners at Clapham Park Run.
It's going off. Park run turnout ever. We'll break the record.
That'd be amazing, wouldn't
it? Biggest park run ever.
Oh, hang on, look, guys. I know, so I'll do it at the front end. I was going to say pause for the Skechers advert, but I'll put it in at the front end. Don't worry about it. Carry on. Talk as you are. I try and do that, Marilyn, so I get a nice clean, because we've got this amazing advert by Jamie Redknapp, and he sort of picks up into the middle. But I'll stick it at the front end this week. We'll help Skechers out because we love them. We'll stick it at the front end because most people turn off after about now, because this usually descends into us arguing about stuff, really, usually, or hammering Toby, but he's not here. And so that's that, really.
Oh, hold on, though. This might lead on to hammering Toby.
Oh, good.
Marilyn, you're obviously a personal trainer. So how did you balance going out for a 22-mile run whilst being a personal trainer and doing that all day?
I just did it on the day off that I wasn't working. Yeah, I just was like, right, that day is like dedicated to my run, and that is it, nothing else. So yeah, I just did it, and I just obviously tried to eat well, drink loads of. I started taking the energy gels that you take when you. I mean, I'd never tried any of that before, so I was like, these are disgusting, but obviously they're meant to be good for you. So yeah, I was just trying to do everything just to make sure I had plenty of energy for that run that I was going to do. But yeah, I found the act probably wrong saying this, because a lot of people say a marathon is actually easier than the training, so a routine. But I actually found my 22-mile run, the marathon, I found it so hard on the day. But I suppose everyone's different, aren't they?
Everyone is different, and I think you just don't know on the day. We've all had good runs, bad runs. I've had 20-mile runs. I did one with the boys, which was brilliant, and it was on pace. And I was like, God, this is one of the best ones I've done. And then
That's because I was there calming. Me and Toby were like a calming influence over you.
Toby was at his active job.
Oh yeah, Toby's not got an active job. Toby reckons Toby reckons he's got an active job. Yeah, you've got an active job. You're a PT, right? Hayden's not got an active job. He just walks around and finds different people's houses to go into. But Toby does not. Toby does events and stuff like this, right? When he's not like eating, he sits at a desk all day. But he swears that's an active job. The only active part of his job is getting lunch for the team, right? That's the only thing he does. So Toby, take some of this. Meredith has got an active job. She's a PT. You do nothing all day long. I mean, it is true, though, isn't it?
I think I'd like to swap places with him for a day. And
yeah, I think I'd like that. Isn't there a program where they do like job swap or something?
Yeah.
Oh, do they do job swap?
Yeah, I reckon that'd be awesome. I would like to see. I think people would tune in for that. Have we? What's this question? Join the parkrun event. 8 hours road trip. 5-mile question. What's he saying? I can't read that.
Basically, JBS is saying he's never done a park run before, and will you still be able to come down and take part? Absolutely, of course you can.
Yeah, don't matter. Marilise is coming. She's never done a park run. If you've never done park run, right, don't worry about that. Just come down, right? It's effectively it's a 5K shakeout run. We're just going to close down Clapham for a couple of hours. Don't tell them, right? But we're basically going to close Clapham down for a few hours. Just anybody, don't matter. If done park run, not done park run. Whatever, just come along. It just Toby's just made a good point. For the first time this show, we've been going 41 minutes. He's added one bit of value. He said, try and register with the Parkrun website before you do come, because then you can claim your time. But if you couldn't give a monkeys about that, which I wouldn't be quite bothered, just rock up and just run. Don't worry about it.
And JBS is saying there about it's an 8-hour round trip to come down for the Parkrun. Listen, you look on that FORDY Runs community. We've been over to Dublin for a park run.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it.
A lot longer than 8 hours.
An 8-hour journey for a 30-minute run.
Yeah. Crack on.
ABS, we'll see you on the 3rd of December.
Yeah, we'll see you there, mate.
Marilyn, what's your question?
How many is there park runs everywhere then in the UK? Like, I mean, I know there's one in town.
Yeah, I
think Hayden, you deal with this. You're our park run guru. Go.
No, we needed Mel, but still. Now we've got. I'm going to have a rough guess. I think there's something like about 600 or 650 park runs just in the UK. But then we got them worldwide. There's loads. They're all over the world now. South Africa, America, Australia.
I honestly didn't know that.
Yeah,
it's genuinely huge. It's
an absolute phenomenon. It's incredible, and it is the way the majority of people you talk to about their running journey. It's where the majority of people start. They feel a bit. What you said earlier, you don't feel that. You're a bit insecure about going down to the park run. You don't know no one. That's what park run's there for. The idea is you go down there and literally on that start line, there'll always be someone that will turn around to you and say, morning, or how are you? Or as you start to run along, you'll run next to someone the same sort of ability as you. You just get talking. Honestly, it's a community that's just.
Yeah, I think that's the key and this is we actually, funny enough, we just filmed a video about it this last weekend for the channel. It's about the community, how powerful the community is, because of the fact it's free, it's a low entry, in terms of barrier to entry, right, for people. But what it does give people is a support network. So if you're on your own, or for whatever reason you've got no confidence, but you are able to, go along to these things, you're going to find like-minded people, whether they're walking or running or whatever they're doing, of all ages and all different abilities. And it creates that community aspect, and it's bringing people in from the local area. And obviously that's the key part of Parkrun, why it exists and why it's set up in certain areas, is to bring people together through fitness, which, as well, where it is, the amazing thing about, for people's mental health and everything like that. It's just so important, the community aspect of Parkrun. The running part, really, it don't really matter. Because yes, you get your nutters who go for like, I'm going to go and do the course record and all this sort of stuff. And that's awesome, right? But it's not about that. It's more about bringing people together and supporting each other and just coming down and being social. And, we're social animals and bringing that, into a place on a Saturday morning. So people, who maybe live on their own or whatever their circumstance, they know that if they get introduced to parkrun, there is that can take place. And
brilliant.
yeah, it's a phenomenon. It's a powerful thing. Hayden got the number completely wrong,
I
Yeah.
know,
but I'll
I've
put
seen
that down to
Been
the
corrected.
alcohol that he's consumed to get into that person's house.
So there's 1,145 parkruns in the UK,
Unbelievable.
which is mad.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
But all,
That is me.
they're so inclusive, and what's brilliant is they've now started park walk as well, because the point doesn't matter if you're running a 15-minute 5K or a 2-hour 5K. They always have a tail walker, so you're never the last person, so it just doesn't matter. But they've started pushing park walk as well, which is amazing. And we went, well, actually, Chris, we didn't talk about this, and we are going to talk about it now, which was you had a
Wait, no, before you say we're going to talk about it, this wasn't in the thing that I got sent about what we're talking about tonight, so I'm not sure I'm going to.
Yeah, I don't need to tell you that. This is why I'm the admin. Parkrun, Chris had his 50th last week.
Oh, was it 50 parkrun? Joe, I made a mistake. I thought it was his 50th birthday.
Yeah, I know, you hammered me, right? This
I'm
is
sorry,
what makes me laugh.
I'm sorry,
Is that
mate, honestly.
Hayden's messaging me and saying, "FORDY, I didn't realise you were 50. No, it was my 50th parkrun. Do I look 50? I got complimented today how lean, mean, and amazing I look. It might have been made that bit up, but I definitely, I reckon I'm a good 25. There's no way. What are you laughing at? There's no way I look 50, Hayden. And that message was an insult, right?
No, I said you look good for 50, to be fair.
The only good thing we're getting older, right? The only good thing about getting older, this is the only thing I've worked out now, is the fact that you can qualify for stuff because you're older, so you're in a different category. So like Hayden's just qualified for Boston because he's so old, right? He's in the over 70s category. Don't tell anyone. But that's how you can get into Boston. So it's because it's good for age. So that's the only thing I can see that's a positive about getting older is the fact that you can qualify for stuff. So when I'm 60, mind you, I think Mrs. Ford would have put me in that 6 foot. Oh, she's dug in the garden and ready for me. I mean, she'd have put me in there by then.
You nearly went in there when you nearly missed Scarlett's birthday meal last night. We ran. Oh, actually, Royal Parks. We haven't even spoken about that.
Oh, don't get me started about Royal Parks. Have you, Meredith? Did that? You must have been talked into that at some point. Royal Parks half marathon.
No, nothing.
Right, so it's a big one.
You can't get me to anything else. I've already signed up for like.
Oh yeah, she signed up. She's got a bike. Got to do biking for 100 miles. It's quite a big event. 16 to 20,000 runners. It's every autumn. Through all the Royal Parks. Starts down in Hyde Park. Then they send you out to the West End. You run around Buck Power, whatever it is, and then you sort of just run around the parks. I'm not a big fan of it, which you may have picked up on. But other people, notably admin, loves it. And I mean, really, people have. But the most important thing, big shout out, actually, it does genuinely, sincerely, I mean this, it does raise quite a bit of money for charity. It's another one of the big charity raises, which is great news. Big support of charity on this podcast and platform. So it does raise good money for charity. It's one of those like Great North Run, London Marathon. It does raise for good causes, which is awesome. But I mean, you're the other side of the argument because I gave it a 4 out of 10 in terms of rating because I think it's pony. But admin, you was like a strong 8, weren't you?
Yeah, I had a great. But I think you've done it before. I've never done it, and for the first time this year, I went to a race or a half marathon with no pressure. To your point, Matt, release like you can put. And I spent all year trying to chase times and trying to get quicker and go further and all that. And I had a lovely run with one of our other coaches, and well, she's trained to be a coach, and she's been on here, Petra. And we just had a lovely run around London. The weather was amazing, and it was great. So I don't know what the boys were complaining about.
Hayden, what do you think? Because I ran it last year with Hayden. Bro, you're with me on this one, aren't you?
I think we both summed up on a few times. Honestly, for me, it's a glorified park run. It's just honestly, I don't know if that's disrespectful to park run. The first part was good fun. Once you get into Hyde Park and you're going in and out, left and right, all around on the paths, it's not for me. And then obviously to finish it off, just to give you a right kick me down the floor, they give you that bloody medal.
Yeah, that's the thing. What did you think of the medal, Marilys, of London?
I loved it. Honestly, I was so impressed with it. No, it was great. It was fantastic. I've got it hung up in my bedroom.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Royal Parks, because it's sustainability and all that sort of stuff, they're big into that with the parks, which is right. They give you a wooden medal, which is very, what's the word? A lot of runners tend to be 50-50 on this. They're either happy, admin doesn't care, but some runners like me and Hayden, we want the bling. We want these like bucket lids, solid gold. We just earned that. And then other people, they couldn't care less, which is fine.
Ones like this.
He's got a Chicago one, right? That's again like your London one.
wicked. I love
Again,
that.
Hayden, just I know you've been to the pub, but it's an audio-based format. They wouldn't have seen that you held up the
I'm
Chicago
sorry.
Marathon. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
Who's with a Chicago t-shirt and a Chicago medal in?
Yeah, have you been walking around town and in the pub with that? Do you
So
like?
everything-
So like before you go out and you say to the missus, right, come on, darling, bit of a treat. We'll go down to Boozer. Do you then go into your wardrobe and go, right, I'm going to put this finisher's t-shirt on tonight. I'm going to take this medal so everybody in the pub knows I'm a marathon runner.
No, I just with all my big medals, I just carry them around permanently, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then when anyone speaks to me and says to me, "What do you do like in your spare time?" I do a bit of running. Are you any good? And I just start putting the medals out.
Get them out. Just sham.
I think I do the same.
Why not? Why not?
I think I wore mine for at least 24 hours afterwards.
In Chicago, we flew home sort of like 24 hours later. Everyone walking around Chicago is just wearing medals. Everyone's everywhere. They just don't take them off. You look, you just think to yourself, like, every single person in Chicago has done this marathon. They're just walking around with medals around their neck. Why not?
Yeah, I'll make you right. To be fair, if I'd done what you guys have done, I'd be wearing it as well. We've got some questions, right? So I'm going to knock these on the head quickly. So I don't know who it is because Toby's not put the thing in. Volunteer parkrun, Chris. Yeah, I've done it a few times actually, and I would recommend anybody to volunteer at parkrun. I've done it a couple of times, so I 100% recommend to do volunteering. Actually, I think I even made a video about trying to be a volunteer. So check that out. How does Si rate Royal Parks? Watch the end of the video. Surprisingly complimentary for so Meredith again. Sorry, we're talking about stuff you don't know, but Simon has got. He's one of the runners and who comes on some of the videos with us, and he's got a rating, and he's usually quite harsh to a lot of. I mean, he hammered Edinburgh Marathon, but he was actually very complimentary about Royal Parks, which surprised me because I thought he would think it was pony. So watch the end of the video. I don't mind wording. There was another question from someone, but I don't know where it was. Here we go. This is the one I wanted to find out. Abby, you seen the one about the kidney failure? Yeah, go.
So someone on Facebook has said they had kidney failure and lost a kidney, which affects their body massively. And have you had any long-term effects on your running training post you obviously donating yours? They said they can't believe you ran London less than a year after surgery.
Oh, thank you. Do you know what? No problems whatsoever. I just with you, I forget that I've even done it. Like I forget that I've even donated a kidney. My mind, it actually helps because if I thought about it when I was training, so I just go with the mentality to just go for it. Try not no issues whatsoever, like nothing physically or anything like that. Maybe just a bit tired, drink more water, but just like nothing major or anything bad.
Yeah, it's great that you have long term.
Yeah, nothing major or of anything or for training or anything like that.
Yeah, there's nothing parkrun come around. The point on actually volunteering for parkrun is really important actually in terms of being inclusive because you don't have to be a runner, so you can just go down there from a social point of view, just get involved. And it is getting darker, it's getting colder. To be out on your own can sometimes be quite scary for some people, right? So I think that's a really good point actually when people say about volunteering at parkrun, that you don't have to run, you can walk, you can just go and scan some barcodes or do the timing.
That's what I mean. You know, it's all about that inclusion of people within the community, right? And that's the important thing.
Well, like they do a junior parkrun on a Sunday as well.
Yeah.
So getting young people out, and like Rose Sloan in our community, who's
Amazing.
Who's done like 200 over 100 adult parkruns and like hundreds of junior ones.
Big shout out, Rose.
Yeah.
Big shout out, Rose. We're Emirates. We've got a junior running program. We do. So we teach kids most of the week in Hertfordshire. We make running fun because a lot of kids get turned off by some athletics clubs. They're a bit boring, a bit stuck in their ways, and
kids hate it. They hate cross country, don't they, at school? So it's nice to get them to enjoy it by doing.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we do, and it's one of the best things ever when the kids come along. They just it's the best time of the week, really, when we're teaching us. But I was laughing. Sorry, I wasn't. I was laughing halfway through because John said on FORDY's 10% day, I'm eating 100 sausage sandwiches. You're absolutely right. I am on my 10% day of not being vegan. I am eating. I reckon I could eat 100 sausage sandwiches. I honestly, genuinely think I'm going to try it on that ride 100 thing, that biking thing. I'm going to go for it. 1 mile. What are they going to do? Volunteering at Junior Park Run's awesome. Yeah, we've done that as well. We took over a park run at Hartum. We did that as well. So I'd recommend if you can't, do a Saturday for whatever reason, then go and volunteer at your junior park run. That's always a good shout. You know what, guys? I've just realised. Oh, hang on, sorry,
asking about. I'll run up a Clapham, asking where Clapham is. Clapham Junction. Just Google it. Clapham Junction station. I think it's the busiest train station there. Have I gone?
Yeah, you was close to. I'll be honest with you. I think you probably outstayed your welcome. I don't know whether they still know you're in there. That's what
That's why I'm getting quieter. I'm trying to keep it down.
Yeah, how are you going to get out?
There's a window. I've been eyeing up a window over there.
It's the window he came in through.
We are.
But how did you get your medal?
It's in my pocket with all the other ones.
57 minutes, right? So we're near.
How did we do 57 minutes, by the way? I don't even know what we've spoken about. Apart from Marilyse has been signed up for everything and Hayden's living in somebody else's house. I don't know what we've spoken about. Oh, we have a speaker.
Don't worry, Marilyse. We'll send you a list of everything you're doing next year now.
Don't worry about it.
This weekend, guys, right? There's some stuff going on. So,
what?
Well, Hayden, where are you heading?
I am off to. We've got Great South Run Sunday, so really looking forward to that. Touching it before. It's a 10-miler. You don't get many 10-milers, so really looking forward to it. I've never ever done the Great South. I've done the Great North. They've got the whole series, haven't they? The Great Scottish, Great Manchester, but this is the Great South. A load of people always go on and on about how fantastic it is. So me and the missus are going down there this Sunday to give it a go, and we're actually really looking forward to it. It's not too far from us, so we'll go down there on the day.
You are absolute machines. So what you don't know, Marilyse, and I think some of the listeners will know, is that Hayden and Lou, his wife, did Berlin Marathon 3 weeks ago. They did Chicago last weekend. So they did
my love. No way. That's impressive. And then you're doing another one.
No, not another marathon. This is Great South. It's only 10 miles, but
10 miles,
that's what it gets to. And you start thinking to yourself, it's that same old comment when people say, "Oh, it's only a half. It's only a 10K. It's only." But it's all relative for everyone. It's still a challenge. It's going to be a great run. I'm going just to look. I literally had in my mind that Berlin was going to be a bit of fun, and it turned out to be a bit of fun. Chicago wanted to be a good one for me, but as Serena touched on earlier, runs don't always go according to plan, no matter how much you want them to. And it didn't go according to plan for me. I wanted it to. So now I feel as though, I don't know if you guys feel the same. I feel as though the season's coming to an end now. All the big races are sort of gone, and it's just getting a bit duller now. Obviously, we've got Amsterdam, we've got Yorkshire, we've got Great South Run, but then next week, apart from New York left, what's big that's left?
This podcast.
And December the 3rd.
December the 3rd, when we take over Clapham. We own Clapham. That's basically it.
And Toby keeps hassling me about swapping with this Amsterdam. He's quite happy for me to swap with him and jump on a plane tomorrow and sub him out for Amsterdam.
He doesn't want to do it. I'm telling you now. He went to the osteo to try and get some divine. Yeah. He would have been better off going to the church and offering to try and get some help from upstairs than going to the osteo. And it wouldn't have.
He wanted to get signed off. He wanted to get signed off, I reckon.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. If you've ever met Monica, the osteo, she don't sign anyone off.
No, she tapes you up and sends you out running. She went, "You'll be all right. Just cowboy up. Get on with it." Sends you out the door. Love Monica.
Amsterdam.
What?
Amsterdam.
What about it?
What are you doing? What's the plan?
I'm getting on a plane. I'm going to Amsterdam, and I'm going to muck about for a couple of hours. I'm not right. So I've had a cold. If you've not followed Instagram, I've had like the worst training into this training. Like I was smashing it up until week whatever. Then I got COVID because Hayden gave it to me in Great North Run. And that put me out of action, and I missed 2 weeks of trading. And then this week I've had like the worst cold ever. So on a scale of like, you girls would probably say it's like nothing. Us men, it's like the worst thing ever. But I generally have felt a bit rough this week. So my plan now, I've changed tactics. So we're scrapping running a time in Amsterdam. I've got no interest in that. What we're going to do is we're going to get Simon to run 3:25 because he's been training really hard. In fairness to him, I'm serious for just 1 second. He has been training. He's hit every marker in his training. He's nailed it. He's been doing his mileage. He's been getting out there. And he's been really, really training hard. So fair play to him, actually. Give him a little bit of credit. So I'm going to try and get him as deep as I can into the race at his pace that he needs for 3:25. And then I'm going to walk because I'll be broken. Because there's no way I'm going to hold that pace for that sort of time after not doing much for the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, I'm going to go. We're going to be like, you remember Kipchoge when he went sub 2? And they had like that fan around him. That's going to be me and Speedgoat. Speedgoat's going to obviously deflect more wind than me in his XL kit. And I'm going to be like that. And we're going to put Simon in here. Again, audio basically, not you can't see my hands, but basically we're going to create a block for the wind to get Simon as far as we can into the race. So then we can just let him go and see what he does. Because I think he's got a good time in his legs. If he can get over that mental barrier.
Yeah, the plan for the next 24 hours or 36 hours is to protect Simon at all costs.
Protect Simon. That's our mission, is protect Simon at all costs. So if like someone's coming towards him and they may have a like sniffle, I'm going to go in. I'm going to be a barrier in my Skechers kit. Me and the Skechers are going to barrier him from any potential COVID that is coming his way. So we're going to take it for the team. He's going to sit in seat 1B between the two bouncers, me and Tobe, and we're going to look after him and protect him because we can't afford anything to happen to the boy. Because he needs to run 3:25. I mean, he doesn't run 3:25. He's got to buy me lunch. So there's a lot riding on it because I like to eat.
Lunch.
What?
You already owe us lunch, so let's not.
Oh, right. Come on, let's wrap it up. We've got place. Hayden's got. I think Hayden's. We just lost Hayden, by the way. If you're listening to this on the podcast, we've lost him. I think the person's realised that someone's in his house. Oh no, he's back.
I managed to get back. It got a bit nasty, but I'm all right.
Right, come on, let's let Marilise go. She's been on here way too long. She's got better things to be doing.
Thank you so much, Marilise, for joining us and for being part of this for the last hour.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely. Nice speaking. Some challenges to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to send you a list. Thank you, Hayden. Have a great run down in Portsmouth. Chris, I'll see you in the morning, but good luck for Amsterdam. Thank you again to our sponsors at Skechers for looking after us, for our kit, and yeah, for supporting the community and the podcast always. So, and we will be back next week, same time, 7:00, live on Facebook and YouTube, and this can be found on all of your audio podcast places. So Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all the rest of them. So, yeah, good luck everyone for the weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Good luck.
Toby, roll those titles. Come on, boy, do some work.